Okay.
When I was a kid, there was probably nothing I wanted to be more than a Ghostbuster. I mean, come on, how great would it be to drive the Ecto-1, live in a firehouse, hunt ghosts, and fire off particle throwers destroying everything in sight? Sure, we've gotten games based on the movies over the years, and while some of them have been okay, and even good in some cases, no flat-screen game could ever make me feel like Egon, Peter, Ray, or Winston. So when nDreams announced Ghostbusters VR Rise of the Ghost Lord, it was kind of like a dream come true.
Next.
Go on!
A dream come true for sure, but unfortunately, like most dreams, you don't have much control over what happens once you're in them. And that's exactly how Ghostbusters VR feels. You get to wear the uniform, hang out in Ghostbusters HQ, which is now a cable car station in downtown San Francisco. And you're equipped with a proton pack, PKE meter, and ghost trap. Now, these aren't the Ghostbusters you're used to, and that's fine. The designs are a little weird, and yeah, I would have killed for a realistic and maybe even scary Ghostbusters game, but I can totally deal with the aesthetic, especially since it's running at an insanely high resolution with a silky smooth frame rate, all paired with an amazing soundtrack featuring tons of recognizable Ghostbusters music.
I just wish they had more shit like this in the game,
What I can't seem to wrap my head around, though, is how the game plays out. You accept missions at HQ, and they'll take place in one of 6 locations. The factory, Alcatraz, the Golden Gate Bridge, Chinatown, the sewers, and then when you're ready to fight the Ghost Lord, there's a separate location for that too. There's also 4 types of missions you'll encounter. On the clock is the most basic, where you try to take down a set number of ghosts before the time runs out. Giga Trap Retrieval is pretty much the same, except one person on your team has to be holding a volatile ghost trap at all times. Harvester asks you to fix a ghost harvesting machine, and then fill up canisters one by trapping the ghosts inside. And Exorcism has you scanning objects with your PKE meter in order to find the possessed item, and then fight a ton of ghosts. They're all pretty much the same, with some minor variations, and sadly they all reuse the same boss character. And so it's crazy that nDreams didn't lean more heavily into making these minor variations more exciting. Fixing the Harvester just requires pulling levers and replacing fuses. This could have been something really fun. Imagine if it was timed so every player had to work together and perform certain actions simultaneously. Or if instead of just pulling a lever, there was a fun little minigame like Tales from the Galaxy's Edge had. And every item is always found in the exact same place. So once you've done a mission in a particular location once, you know exactly where to look the next time. A little randomization could have gone a long way here.
Piranha. Me neither. This will be interesting.
So once you choose your mission, it's time to head out. You and up to 3 friends stand near the Ecto-1 to start the mission, and the screen fades to black, and fades back in at the mission. That's right, it's a Ghostbusters game, and you never once get to be inside the Ecto-1. Now listen, I didn't expect a Grand Theft Online clone or anything, but playing a quick 30-second minigame where you hang out the windows busting ghosts on the way to your mission would have been a blast. And would have been a much better transition than some flat cartoon loading screen. Even the old 8-bit games had a version of this. Luckily though, once you get to your location, it's pretty fun to use your neutrino wands. There are small blastable ghosts everywhere that don't require much effort, but most of the bigger ghosts have 2 meters. So first you have to point and shoot to bring down the blue meter, and once that's depleted, your beam will surround the ghost, and then you have to pull back the beam like you're fishing to take down the purple meter. Shoot out the trap, open it up, and you're good to go. Wash, rinse, repeat about 10 times, and you'll be done the mission. Now when I was growing up, proton packs were described in the movies as nuclear reactors on your back. Homemade, dangerous pieces of tech. So it's unfortunate that the haptics and adaptive triggers don't quite convey that sense of power. But this is the closest I've gotten to feeling like a Ghostbuster, so it's still pretty cool.
Oh, really? Sorry, that.
Heading back to Ghostbusters HQ between missions allows you to upgrade your equipment. Now, this is something I was excited for. I can deal with a little repetition and a little grinding if there's always a new upgrade to strive for. But very few of these upgrades change the way that I played. There are a few important ones, like increasing the damage that you can cause and reducing how much your proton wand overheats. But it's crazy that there's nothing to increase any of your character's attributes, like your movement speed or your own defenses. And most of the upgrades are so poorly explained that you don't even know what you're buying to begin with. There's also a ton of major problems here, along with some minor. First, there's no real reason to buy the $55 Containment Edition, at least not yet. It's supposed to include 6 months of DLC, but there's so little here that any new additional content should be added for all versions. So in that regard, I am thankful that there's 2 new game modes coming to the game before the end of the year. There's also major audio issues here too. Only once did I fight the Ghost Lord without the sound squealing for 5 minutes and then cutting out completely. Every time this happened, I had to quit the game, restart, and then rejoin the room, and it happened way too often. The PKE meter is severely underutilized, and despite being able to open a ton of drawers and cabinets, there's never any reason to open them or explore the environments. There's a few minor problems here too. You can never die, removing any sense of pressure or urgency. You can point in the game, but you can't give the thumbs up like you can in the Quest version. There's only one smooth turning speed, and the progression meter is totally pointless. It goes up a few percentage points after every mission, but hitting 100% changes nothing. You'll literally be doing the exact same thing in the exact same places 20 hours into the game as you were during the first hour.
To use your special ability of your thing, press square.
What's crazy is that Rise of the Ghost Lord starts off really promising with a single-player mission. It's essentially a tutorial that feels really great to play. It gives you excuses to use the PKE meter and introduces a story that totally falls off a cliff after that. I mean, there is a story unfolding a bit on these monitors up here, but seriously, who cares? Because once the real game kicks in, that's also where the disappointment kicks in. Playing with friends can be fun, but playing solo or with randoms is a total drag. So while I'm happy I finally got to live out my lifelong dream of becoming a Ghostbuster, I'm disappointed that becoming a Ghostbuster was way less exciting than it should have been. Ghostbusters could be a good game in another year or so with a lot of DLC, a lot of polish, and a lot of updates. But right now, it's insanely shallow, bland, and repetitive.
You got that, bestie?
Got it. Oh,
Just
that's
seems
cool.
wrong.
There's a. He's in a chair. He was in a chair waving at me.
This is where you
Stay put. Ah.
Oh, there's that thing I needed to have, huh?
Just the proton pack left to find. Oh, and the power to fix if you want to go home later. So, light work. PKE meter's picking up something big. Glad you got my trap. Shh, look. It's a class 3. Free floating, full torso. You need to launch your trap under it.